Welcome everyone to MCCIA Solar Energy Summit 2024. We are very thankful to you for your patient waiting. This event will foster dialogue on recent policy developments shaping Maharashtra's solar energy landscape and will delve into the technological advancements that are driving innovation in this sector. On the stage we have Mr. Deepak Karandikar, immediate past president of MCCIA, Mr. Ram Zogdan, chairman Ramalex, Mr. Anup Das, AGM, SIDBI, and Dr. Nilesh Rohankar, executive engineer, MSCDCL. I request Mr. Sudhanva Koppardekar to please set the context of this event.
Good afternoon, friends. Happy that all of you found time to come here. I request those of you who have not yet visited the exhibition to go around, time permits. Also visit tomorrow from 10 to 6. Exhibition is open. Spread the word around. Get maximum number of exhibitors to expose to your ideas to help them refine their products. Also introduce some of your offerings to them. That's the first thing I wanted to announce. And without wasting much time, I just wanted to tell you, Mr. Karandikar, who is our immediate past president, has been driving this Green Energy Open Access Initiative at the chamber for the benefit of MSMEs. And we were just discussing in the adjacent room, it took 8 years for us to get to this day in 2024, on the 9th of September, if I remember the date correct. That finally we have a situation in Maharashtra, and that's not even prevalent in many other states even now, but Maharashtra is one of the fewer ones, to get to a stage where an MSME with a contract demand of 100 kW or more can now opt for green energy open access. So let me take this opportunity to request all of you to put your hands together to the Maharashtra government, to MSCDCL, for allowing this to happen. First of all, a year prior, MERC liberalized it, and a year prior, that is 2022, Ministry of Power issued that notification. So all of this and more of the follow-up was done under the leadership of Mr. Karandikar. So big thank you from all of you and the MSMEs to him for making that happen. He himself also runs the MSME unit, so as a passion, he took it onto himself. And we were just discussing the then Minister for Power, Piyush Goyal Saab's conversation till today. The entire conversations, we still have live memories. In fact, sir, just last week, the Ministry of MSME asked me, how did you achieve this in Maharashtra? Tell us so that the other states can follow. So that is the power of the persuasion, the collective wisdom led by Karandikar sir for all of you in the audience, which will start benefiting not only the power producers, but more to the users. And how do we do it is the panel discussion, which is the second part of it. And what are the challenges, what are the opportunities remaining, what are the nuances of that, how does one efficiently and cost effectively do it, what are the standalone challenges if for SMEs or even the power producers, is what we want to listen and take it to the regulator. That's why happy that MSCDCL also is here, and without money you can't do this. So therefore we got SIDBI on this forum as well. They have always been with us in whether you talk of green initiatives, whether you talk of equipment financing, whether you talk of GST Sahai, whether you talk of so many other things. Yesterday also they made a presentation on the sustainable products financing, and today we requested them to talk about the financing for solar energy adoption. Of course, they are also one of the sponsors to the Expo. Likewise, as all of you know, Kirloskar Group, who is the title sponsor, they will also be represented. Some of the experts from the field also, we have got them to speak. This particular topic is also been part of our sustainability and digitization workshops that we conduct. Some of those we have had solar green energy open access. So some of them in the audience have been on this side as well to talk about the issues that are involved. How does one efficiently Not only in Pune, but in places like Ahilyanagar and Sabhajinagar, we have been trying to do these workshops in tandem with the sustainability and digitization print, the green energy open access, particularly the solar energy adoption, renewable energy, which also funnels into the sustainability index for the MSMEs. So do take advantage of such workshops, such interactions, and write to us about these ideas. So this is what I wanted to say. Let me hand over to Karandikar sir for his opening remarks. Then the presentations from two experts, and then we will move into panel discussion, please.
Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce myself. I am part of the MSME fraternity in Pune district, Maharashtra, and in India. And I believe we have about 6.7 crore MSMEs registered, out of which 33 or 3.3 million, 33 lakh MSMEs are part of the manufacturing infrastructure. And what do you hear on when you are a participant in a seminar? Wow, look what the MSMEs do, right? They give employment, they contribute to GDP, they are exporters to a large extent. I'll not throw the numbers, they are meaningless. But how does an MSME, it kept nagging me ever since I took over as MSME committee chair under our past presidents. What will you bring to the MSMEs? If you don't bring content, you're bringing nothing to them. It's part of every entrepreneur to understand his balance sheet. And if you check, what's the difference between running an organization or a manufacturing unit here in Maharashtra vis-a-vis outside Maharashtra or even maybe in Germany? Look at the land cost. The land cost in Maharashtra is far higher than what it is elsewhere. Cost of machinery is practically the same. So let's talk of the capex. Idhar bahut zyada hai, right? Let's talk of the OPEX. In OPEX, I talk about two, the power and the manpower, right? We say manpower is cheap. That is why people come to India. It's a fallacy. Manpower is not cheap. Because if you find out exactly what you get out of the guy whom you employ, I'll give you a small, because this is not relevant to this topic. We were in a company in Germany who was making gears for BMW. 20-25 people working there. There was an elderly owner, there was a young guy who took us in and said, please have a look at what we do. And when we finished, I was astonished that not one of those workers even looked up to see who had come to visit. While in our factory, if you have an outside visitor, they will peep. Are ye kaun aaya? What the hell is he doing here? You know, we are not connected to our work. So our manpower cost, and let me not. So we'll run out of steam when we say that we have cheap manpower, and that's going to happen soon. We are already at highs of minimum wages that we pay. Let's come to power. We are the 27% more than the next best on the rate. Am I right, sir? 27%. I'm sure each one of you pays between 10 and 12 rupees. If you are commercial, you can go up to 15, 18 or 21. This is simple to understand because it's a cross subsidy that was laid out by our regulators for ages. So I said, the best thing that I can do for MSMEs is to fight and see why we cannot generate and use our own power. Okay, so everybody says, वो टोपी पे लगाओ ना, टोपी पे कितना लगता है? 20%, 15% of what you need. So that doesn't work. Then what works? Solar farm. And the best was that I began by saying that MSMEs are commended for the wonderful work that they do, right? And the big guys who are 1 megawatt and more are allowed open access and are allowed cheap energy because they can produce and they can use. You small guys, you will not get it. You all are chores. How come I became a chore? No. And that was because of this cross subsidy. They did not want to let good guys go. Because if you don't pay your MSCB bills, I need not tell you. Am I right, sir? So simple. So what is simple? You cannot generate your own power. So you damn well pay the high tariff. How do I become competitive in the world market? This has become a global village, as they say. All high flyers. I don't believe in all this. There is no global village because I don't have a level playing field. Why do I not get energy at the rate at which energy is available to a competitive global player? So I do chori. Everybody does chori, so I do chori. What chori? I don't know. There is no chori because you will pay one day or the other. So the only way to do is make your own and use your own. My first encounter was in 2017. I'm not going to take too long because I want an interactive session between you and the panelists who will be able to answer your questions. Regulatory and finance, right? So if you have to set up a solar park, then you need for 1 megawatt, you need 5 acres, you need 5 crores, you will generate 15 lakh units, out of which MSCDCL will take away 11%, they will give you only 13 lakh 40,000 for you to take benefit, and the list goes on. Don't ask me what the list will be, okay? And so many regulations that you will say, जाने देना यार 11 रुपया भरता हूँ, right? How do you become competitive? I kept fighting. I talked to Piyush Goyal sir. He says, of course this is allowed for you. He asked me to meet Arvind Singh, and then my journey of 8 years started. They pushed me around and I kept following up. As Sudhanva mentioned, on 6th of June, my friend at the CERC rang me up and told me, Deepak, we have cleared it. I said, what? We have cleared 100 kW, connected load or contract demand. I don't understand this because it's Q. And sir, if it is a catch, we would like to ask you this question. What is this 100 kW? Is it connected load or contract demand? But whatever it is, I'm sure you would clarify. I was very happy. There were pessimists who told me, cool down, nothing's going to happen. And 2.5 years down the line, nothing has happened. Right? 23 MERC woke up. And it took 12 months for a copy-paste. They copied the CERC regulation, pasted it and said, okay. Now, why does it take 13 months for copy-paste for technology gigs? I don't know. But it took that much time. And then it was very nice. And they said nothing is going to happen until MSCDCL says yes. How long will that take? I don't know. So we waited and we were very happy. Thank you, sir. 9th of September, we heard the good news. And how long will it take hereafter? We don't know. No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's agony. It is not funny. And why is it agony? Because every month I lose. And when my Prime Minister says that you have to be renewable energy compliant, right? Show us, how much do you do there? My friend here talks about sustainability. Sudhanva, I never attend these questions. What have you done? Don't talk. Don't talk on the podium. Sorry, Sudhanva, but that's how I am. Right? So you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. This is extremely important. I said I need to set a trend. And I was talking to you, madam. I said I need to set a trend. What is the trend? Let's have a very small example. 9th September. So we got a lot of people to understand how does this damn thing work. And there were a lot of ifs and buts to understand the whole mechanism. I got 3 or 4 EPC guys to explain to me. A duffer like me, layman, doesn't understand why aisa hoga. I said, you do one thing. Tell me 4 things that I need to do. Okay? I'll tell you how many units I want from my solar park. My, in the sense, the one that we establish. For that, what would be my capex? For that, what would be my saving? And for that, how long will I need before the energy starts flowing in? I got 7 different things which have completely confused me. I stopped asking people. Nobody knows. So I would love my friend here to explain to us, and I'm happy because when I was talking to him before we came here, and for the first time I saw someone from MSCDCL being so proactive. So we would love to listen to you, sir. And it would be my pleasure to thank you for exchanging the reality with us. Please tell us how each one of us goes ahead. And if you believe that you can go and buy your coupon for so many units per annum and pay that much price and get that advantage, that's not happening. You have to be a small group where you become viable. Otherwise, he would explain to you how it becomes expensive to do it on your own. And that is why I wanted to form a small group, which I have done. We are 6 of us who are ready to contribute for a 3 megawatt plant, which would cost us about 12 crores outside the limit. 3 megawatts would give us 45 lakh units, less 11%. We would have to pay a wheeling charge, 1.6 rupees, right, sir? Yeah. So all this goes down. So let me tell you, what would be my advantage if I contribute 100% of the capex through my funds? 7 rupees. I was elated. I said the amount of money that I would make out of this, my ROI would be about 4.5 years. Right? Who puts it together for small industries? I don't know. We will interact, and I hope your questions start flowing. Thank you.
I request Mr. Nilesh to please go ahead with the presentation.
Hello. It's connected? So first of all, I will like to thanks our friend Ram sir, Zogdan, Karandikar sir, and Mr. Das on the dais, off the dais. And before starting, this is the first initiative in the history of MSCB or MSCDCL where we are going to promote not only green energy, but green open access energy. And before starting my presentation, I would like to thank all my higher authorities, our Chief Engineer, Rajendra Pawar sir, our RD, Regional Director, Khandare sir, Bulbuli sir, for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction with all of you over here. And this is the only stunt we are thinking to have an opportunity to have an interaction with all of you people, and how we can have the promotions and propagations of these regulation policies, and how it can be get simplified and get implemented 100%. As you all know that there is an unprecedented global energy transition, and the era of energy transition, energy integration, and energy transformation, specifically in India, is going with a full speed. And this is an attempt to have an trainings, awareness for human capital. And what I think that human capital is the most necessary thing if we want our economy to be the third largest in the world. So before starting my presentation over here, as MCCIA has requested me to have an interaction on green energy open access. So all we know that carbon footprints are the major RPO obligations what we save. So in this specifically, all I think it might all present over here are MSMEs industrialized. So for industries 20%, and for electrical and heat from our point of view 18. So for the year 24-25, the RPO obligation in front of DISCOM is near about 24 to 25% of the total energy mix, use of green energy. So as we all know, each and every slide has its own significance, and in not more than 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to have a presentation over here. As we all know that 5 big climate goals for India. As we all know that 500 gigawatts is the target in front of India for 2030. And the contribution of Maharashtra is near about 10% of the total energy mix or any installations or total targets. So how we are going to achieve not only RPO, but also ESO, energy storage obligations. So how these both are correlated, and how the energy conservation amendment bill along with energy efficiency and energy conservation, how these are going to help green energy open access that we are going to see over here. At present, what are the current policies and regulations we are having in Maharashtra, specifically in DISCOMs. So we have iSmart portal over here for rooftop solars, for PM Surya Ghar Yojana. It's a very, very successful scheme being launched at PAN level and in Maharashtra level. It has been said, Karandikar sir, that the success behind the state government was Ladli Bahna. But what we think from power sector, that not only Ladli Bahna, the PM Surya Ghar Yojana is one of the blockbuster proved in Maharashtra. And what are the targets and how what we have achieved also that we are going to see over here. Not only PM Surya Ghar, but the giving relief for the agriculture bills also, that is also one of the major setback what the opponents faced over here in Maharashtra. From energy conservation point of view, from rooftop renewables, behind the meter concept is there. Very important to be get understood over here of how it works, and all we know that it's an era of remix. Now along with net metering, you can have an open access. Not only open access, if you have an off-grid system in your premises, it will be allowed now. No doubt in that. How it will work, we are going to see over here. If you want green energy open access, only the thing is that the green tariff or behind the meter have its own limitations, that also we are going to see over here. So as we all know, this PM Surya Ghar has proved a very successful scheme. At present, 2,690 megawatts we have reached in Maharashtra. The slide showing this slide is the major, what I want to see is, once you cross the 5,000 megawatts in Maharashtra, then you all know that certain clauses are there mentioned in the regulation regarding the wheeling charges, additional surcharge. So I will like to say over here that take maximum opportunities of the subsidies for the residential sector specifically under PM Surya Ghar Yojana. So with respect to guidelines, one recent circular from MNRE has been put forward for the model solar village. I will take this opportunity to have an promotions of this model solar village. All industries are present over here. You can adopt a small village in which a lot of opportunities are there for you people, MSMEs and big industries. You can adopt through environmental social governance. As you all know that through SCBI, Security Exchange Board of India, it's now mandatory for certain big companies to avail green energy. And if you're not following such sort of regulations and policies, then in ESG, environmental social governance, some mandate has been done and accordingly penalties may be imposed. So being involved in such model solar village, and it's a very good initiative by MNRE, Ministry for New and Renewable, that in a small village, if that village is involved in lot of schemes like PM Surya Ghar, PM Kusum A, B, C components. A component is of megawatt level, B is of solar off-grid. And C, you might be knowing that Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana, along with scheme Kusum C, is going to prove a very blockbuster in throughout at PAN level. In a span of 2 years, we have a target of 16,000 megawatts. All agriculture loads we are going to shift on solar. And LOAs of 9,000 megawatts and stepwise 16,000 megawatts will be issued very soon. And aggressively we are going forward for taking all the agriculture load on solar with respect to Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana. So the main reason behind why I am showing this circular over here, that a lot of issues are there regarding when we go in public, in local representatives, Gram Panchayats and local bodies are having resistance to give the government lands. Because in this scheme, we are commissioning project on a government lands, what we say in Marathi, in Gairan Zamini. So in that, lot of resistance is there. To promote, to have a motivational to that villagers, to Gram Panchayat, MNRE has moved this scheme in front of all, that if such sort of initiatives you are taking to give a government land, and if you are promoting PM Surya Ghar, Kusum A Yojana, C Yojana, then along with that you can get a funds of 1 CR per village. Now at present, the scheme is for one village, one district, but MNRE and state government has told that if this is a success story in front of us, then in every tehsil it might be there that one village can be taken accordingly. So this is the, for that we have our own government policy of 5 years. In that you can see for grid, on-grid and off-grid. In off-grid we can see over here that 1 lakh solar agriculture pumps, off-grid pumps we have to distribute in a span of 1 year. So not taking much time, green energy open access for what we are over here. So green energy open access regulation was put forwarded by MERC in the month of November, December last year. And as Karandikar sir told that it took a lot of time to have a commercial circular, and still the smoothly implementation of such green energy open access is having lot of issues, challenges. Yeah, there are issues, challenges we are going to discuss over here, but there are certain good solutions, how it can be get simplified. So through this presentation, I will like to, before asking the questions, I will like to highlight some of the points that some of the definitions what the green energy open access has mentioned, that here that you can see over here that multiple connections aggregating 100 kilowatt or more located in a same electricity circle. Lot of consumers are having issue regarding how this concept will work. So that I will have an interaction when I will going to explain. The main reason behind this is there will be a very complex system, billing system. If a consumer is availing open access also, net metering also, and along with that, behind the meter, how it will work. So, if the consumer is of captive, how it will, everything will be covered in the brainstorming session with you people. The 12-time block, how it's going to work. Everybody, you might be knowing that the availability-based tariff metering is the major billing metering. In that, at present, we have a demand integration of 15 minutes with a sliding window of 5 minutes of sub-interval time. So it's not that easy for a consumer to avail green energy open access, but it will be very challenging for forecasting and scheduling point of view. With respect to demand side management, not only demand side management, deviation settlement mechanism will play a major role in green energy open access. So a consumer not only when he will avail open access energy, the role of qualified consulting agency. At present in Maharashtra, only 2 to 3 players are there. You might be knowing at SLDC level. Manikaran is there. Ari Connect is there. Create Energies are there. So what sort of roles they are playing? Each and every consumer after availing green energy open access, they will have to play such a role of deviation settlement mechanism, and this is a very challenging part. So with respect to banking, with respect to surplus, everything we are going to have an interaction. This is the window. Most of the industrialists are, since they don't know from where we have to apply. This is the simple window, Mahadiscom/open access. Through this, you can have your own login credentials and everything. You can see that through MSLDC also you can have a direct interaction with the Transco STU from the above two links and MSDCL/open access. You can have your own login credentials if you want to avail, and we all employees have access to these for our from our intranet facility and everything, and we can have an interaction of all the consumers throughout the Maharashtra. At present over here, if you want to see your status of your application, I can immediately can say you what is the status, how it is going to, what time it will took, everything. These are the structuring of open access. Those who are new in this field, there are 3 parts of open access: short term, mid term, long term. For short term, State Load Dispense Center is the nodal agency. For mid term and long term, RLDCs and National Load Dispense Center is the nodal agency. These are some of the regulations under which we are going to promote green energy open access. Working model for National Open Access Registry. The intention behind showing this slide is specifically that in green energy open access, how the fundamentals will work, the technical feasibility and the financial viability of your small MSME project, how it is going to work. If you are availing a power from exchange through third party, if you are availing power from group captive, how the financials will be there. Everything is been self-explanatory in this National Open Access Registry model. This circular on 9th of September we have put forwarded for all you people to get facility from green energy open access. These are the some of the tariff determination point of view. These are the we have average cost of supply of 7.35 rupees at present. As Karandikar sir told that the cross-subsidized and subsidizing component matters a lot when we run a DISCOM, such a big DISCOM, the largest DISCOM in the Asia. We have consumers of near about 2.3 more CR consumers. And when we balance all these agriculture, residential, subsidized consumer with the subsidizing MSME, industrial, commercial, then it's a very tough situation for us how to handle. We are trying our level best to improve our operational and financial efficiencies. But all the fingers are not equal. Vidarbha and Marathwada is lagging in operation and financial efficiencies, but they are our own brothers. We have to handle, we have to them also. Yeah, some sort of efficiencies are very low in Marathwada and Vidarbha, but we are trying our level best to improve our operational and financial efficiencies, and how this tariff will be rationalized and how the green carpet will be for our MSME. This is the only target in front of us. Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana is the stunt from that point of view only. How this average cost of supply of 7.30 rupees will reduce to 3.30 rupees. And when this average cost of supply will reduce, automatically the tariff will be rationalized, and the industrial tariff and commercial tariffs automatically will come down. How this slide shows from that point of view only. As all we know that for rooftop regulations, we have some questions were raised before starting this session, that whether the group net metering will work or not. Before coming to group net metering, I will like to highlight over here that already in Maharashtra we are very proactive, even though Orissa and Delhi has implemented virtual net metering, peer-to-peer. Yeah, such days will very soon come, how it will work, and very soon the softwares and the billing system is being worked at a very at head office level, and very soon due to complex billing system only, such things are under observation, and once it has been launched, the websites and everything, then it will boom a very quick way. So group net metering, specifically virtual net metering, will for that very complex billing systems like HANA, Relational Database Management System, Oracle, what we say. HANA is the very highest version of the Oracle. That system we are adopting at present to simplify the billing system. Means how it will be complex, a consumer having a rooftop net metering and also availing open access. It will be a very complex system, and under, you might be knowing that in a regular distribution open access regulation 14.2 is the clause where we have to fix the priorities of which power we have to back down and which we have to consider. So in this way, virtual net metering, and also it has been told that how this PM Surya Ghar Yojana will work along with the hybrid system with group net metering. Everything has been mentioned in this circular forwarded by MNRE on 7th of June 2024, that building integrated PV is also been allowed. Not only group net metering and virtual net metering is also been considered. Not only that, behind the meter, battery hybrid system, etc. will also be allowed for a consumer if he wants to avail a subsidy in PM Surya Ghar for a residential part. Last but not the least, as we all know that most of the MSMEs, multinational companies, they don't want to get involved in any asset creation liabilities. At that time, they can avail a green tariff, only having an agreement with our MSCDCL, and they can avail green tariff for their production, for their manufacturing. This is the facility over here. But some of the, most of the big companies like ITs and data centers, they are coming forward to get involved in green energy open access rather than green tariff from financial viability point of view. So this is also one of the option. I myself am availing green tariff on the 10th floor in Viman Nagar. So it is not the way that only I am talking about sustainability and green energy and everything. So these are the promotions. From generator point of view, these all slides were from consumer point of view. From generator point of view also, MEDA, through MEDA single window program is there. Everything is there at a one click. You can have a registration. You can have a registration of your developer and everything through single window. And there are SOPs for a particular time limits for each and every stage. So in this way, giving me a 10 to 15 minutes, sir. Thank you so much for having an interaction with all of you. We will have a question and answers also. Thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very comprehensive presentation on various initiatives by MSCDCL to promote solar energy. I now request Mr. Anup Das to make his presentation, please.
Respected members on the dais and all the dear audience. So I welcome you to this brief presentation on green financing, which is from the SIDBI's perspective. So, I will stick to the timelines. So what is a brief about what is SIDBI? So SIDBI is a financial institution that is working in the MSME sector. It is under the MSME ministry, and the broad objectives are promotion, financing, and development. So the mandate is only for the MSME sector. So when we say MSME, what do we mean by that? So MSME is basically classified into three categories. Micro entity is entity which has investment in plant and machinery up to 1 CR and turnover up to 5 CR. A small entity is an entity जिसकी investment 10 CR तक होती है plant and machinery में, and the turnover is 50 CR. Medium sector similarly is the investment is 50 CR and the turnover is 250 CR. So ये तीन जो sectors हैं, and you fit into these criteria, you will be classified as a MSME unit and you come under the ambit of financing of SIDBI. So we are talking about green finance. तो finance होता है. Green finance क्या है? तो green finance basically अगर हम समझें तो it is any kind of structured financial activity जिससे कि एक positive environmental outcome होता है. तो we talk in and out with the MSME customers जिनको कि ये हम बताते हैं तो उनका एक ही सवाल रहता है कि भाई ROI क्या है या हमें फ़ायदा क्या है इसमें. सो इसकी ज़रूरत क्या है. सो एक ब्रीफ मैं आपको बताता हूँ इसमें कि ये एक बेसिक डेटा है जिसमें कि क्या है कि एट वन साइड वी आर सीइंग कि जो हमारे कंट्री का जो टेम्परेचर है दैट हैज़ बीन राइजिंग इन द रेंज ऑफ around 1 degree Celsius within the bracket of 91 to 2019. लेकिन अभी का जो एनालिसिस है उसमें ऐसा है कि द टेम्परेचर हैज़ इंक्रीज टू अराउंड 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस. तो टेम्परेचर तो इंक्रीज हो रहा है तो उसमें हमारा क्या नुकसान हो रहा है. सो आई विल जस्ट रिफ्रेश योर मेमोरी कि अभी चेन्नई में फ्लड्स हुए थे. So during the course of the floods, all the large entities, they could shift their manufacturing facilities to better locations. और इसका जो सबसे ज़्यादा brunt जो bear किया है वो MSME sector ने किया है. So these are the basic rationale if we understand कि हमें क्यों green finance के ऊपर ध्यान देना चाहिए. So this is the immediate need, and moreover because of the overall climate change जो सर ने भी काफ़ी अच्छे से कवर किया है. So ये हमारे 5 जो है गवर्नमेंट के गोल्स हैं जो कि नेशनली डिटरमाइंड कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस बोलते हैं NCDs या पंचामृत, जिसमें कि हमें अपनी जो नॉन फॉसिल कैपेसिटी है वो 500 गीगावाट तक लेके जानी है. और ये बाय द ईयर 2070 हम लोग नेट ज़ीरो पे पहुँचे. नेट ज़ीरो इज़ ऑफन यूज. नेट ज़ीरो मेरे अंडरस्टैंडिंग से ये है कि जितना हम GHG गैसेस एमिट करते हैं उतना ज़्यादा निकाल देते हैं, तो एक बैलेंस मेंटेन होता है एंड द टेम्परेचर कैन स्टिक टू द एक्सेप्टेबल लेवल्स. तो इसी को हम सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ मानते हैं. सो दीज आर दी फैक्टर्स कि MSME सेक्टर में वाई इट मेक सेंस कि हम ग्रीन फाइनेंस की बात करें. बिकॉज जो इंडिया का एमिशन लेवल है वो 15% अराउंड 15% MSMEs जनरेट करती हैं. जो इंडस्ट्रियल एनर्जी है वो अराउंड 25% MSMEs कंज्यूम करती हैं. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आपकी कंट्रीब्यूशन है 30% कंट्रीब्यूशन टू इंडियन GDP. एंड जैसे कि मैंने एग्जांपल दिया चेन्नई का, सो MSMEs आर ऑलवेज वल्नरेबल टू क्लाइमेट रिस्क्स क्योंकि लो अडेप्टिव कैपेसिटी होती है. तो व्हाट आर द ऑफरिंग्स ऑफ SIDBI अंडर दिस. सो ग्रीन फाइनेंसिंग में SIDBI इज अ ब्रॉड अम्ब्रेला. आई थिंक माई कलीग लास्ट in the previous day has covered a lot of schemes, so I'll be focusing basically on the green finance part. So when green financing में broadly हम लोग क्या करते हैं, एक हमारी end-to-end energy efficiency scheme है, green finance है, एक PACE है, एक EV scheme for direct lending है, जिसको मैं थोड़ा सा explain करता हूँ अभी. तो ये हमारी end-to-end energy efficiency scheme है जिसमें कि the first criteria is कि आप MSME हो, जो कि मैंने आपको बताया कि these are the broad buckets जिसमें आप फिट होने चाहिए. तो इसमें वी कैन लेंड यू फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी प्रोजेक्ट्स. एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी का मतलब ये होता है कि सपोज एक एंटिटी है जो कि लेथ मशीन चला रही है, वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा एनर्जी कंज्यूम कर रही है. सो दे कैन अपग्रेड टू अ बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी जिससे कि वो एनर्जी कंजम्पशन कम हो जाएगी. सो दैट कैन बी क्लासिफाइड इनटू अ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी स्कीम, तो उसमें कोई भी एमएसएमई जो मशीनरी अपग्रेडेशन करता है या फिर कुछ नया जो फाउंड्री में है वो सब अपना मॉडर्नाइजेशन करते हैं, सो ऑल दैट एक्टिविटी कैन बी कवर्ड अंडर एन 4E स्कीम। तो इसमें हमारा जो मैक्सिमम लोन अमाउंट है वो 50 CR तक जाता है, जो रिपेमेंट पीरियड है दैट इज़ अराउंड 5 years, इंटरेस्ट रेट्स विल बी लिंक टू MCLR। इसमें हम एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी भी करते हैं, आपके सोलर रूफटॉप में भी वी कैन फंड। MSME का मतलब खाली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं है, हम सर्विस सेक्टर में भी वी कैन फंड एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस एज वेल एज हॉस्पिटल। और ये जो फंडिंग होती है ये 2 तरीके से होती है। इसमें क्या होता है कि एक 100% मॉडल होता है, जिसमें कि क्या होता है कि टोटल सपोज आपकी मशीन की कॉस्ट 1 crore है, सो व्हाट यू डू इज़ वी कैन गिव यू 100% फाइनेंस, और आपका जो मार्जिन कंट्रीब्यूशन है दैट कैन बी कवर्ड अंडर FD। सो वो FD पे आपको इंटरेस्ट मिलता है एंड आपको 100% फाइनेंस मिल जाती है। एंड हमारा एक अंडरलाइन क्राइटेरिया रहता है कि 3 साल के ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड में आप फिट होने चाहिए, यू शुड हैव 3 years बैलेंस शीट। अगर आप इन केस आप नहीं हैं तो हमारा जो अप्रेजल प्रोसेस है दैट बिकम्स डिफरेंट, सो वी गो इनटू द डिटेल्ड अप्रेजल मोड, जिसमें कि हम थोड़ा सा और डीपली स्टडी करके देन वी फाइनेंस द प्रोजेक्ट्स, बट इट इज़ वेरी वेल विद इन द एम्बिट ऑफ सिडबी दैट वी कैन डू दिस। नेक्स्टली हम ग्रीन फाइनेंस स्कीम में भी फंडिंग करते हैं, जैसे कि ये तो हो गया कि कैप्टिव जो यूज़र साइड की जो एंटिटीज़ हैं, MSME मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स हैं या सर्विस सेक्टर यूनिट्स हैं, उनको जो यूटिलाइजेशन होता है हम उनको फंडिंग करते हैं। लेकिन अगर ऐसी कोई एंटिटी है जो इनको सप्लाई कर रही है, जैसे कि रेस्कोज हैं, एस्कोज हैं, जो कि इनको सप्लाई करती हैं टू सेटअप अ सोलर प्लांट, और ये तो हम उनको भी इसमें फंडिंग कर सकते हैं। ब्रॉडली ये समझें तो जहाँ पे कि प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट थोड़ा बड़ा है, वी कवर देम अंडर द ग्रीन फाइनेंस स्कीम। जैसे कि सर ने बताया था कि ऑफ साइट सोलर में देयर इज़ अ बिग थ्रस्ट, तो ऑफ साइट सोलर में वी फंड अंडर दी स्कीम्स। इसमें जो टर्म्स हैं, बिकॉज द प्रोजेक्ट लाइफ इज़ लॉन्गर, तो रिपेमेंट पीरियड अकॉर्डिंगली हमारा जो 5 years का था इसमें 10 years है। एंड वी कैन फंड बोथ ग्रीन फील्ड यूनिट्स एंड ब्राउन फील्ड यूनिट्स। ग्रीन फील्ड यूनिट्स का मतलब हुआ जिनका ऑपरेशन चालू नहीं हुआ है, एंड ब्राउन फील्ड यूनिट्स जिनका ऑपरेशन चालू है। जैसे कि अभी हम बात कर रहे थे कि एक रेसिडेंशियल फैसिलिटीज़ में अगर आप सोलर रूफटॉप लगाते हैं तो उसमें भी हम वेंडर्स जो हैं, जो कि MNRE के साथ एम्पैनल्ड है, वी कैन फाइनेंस दोज वेंडर्स एज वेल। तो इसमें क्या होता है कि जो वेंडर है, सपोज वो एक प्रोजेक्ट लेता है कि हमें इस पे सोलार लगाना है, एक सोसाइटी में सोलार लगा रहे हैं, तो माइलस्टोन बेसिस पे वी कैन, जैसे कि पहले आप यहाँ पे लगा दें, फिर आपका बिल जनरेट हो गया, वी कैन डिस्काउंट दैट बिल। सो इस तरह की एक हम लिमिट भी प्रोवाइड करते हैं जो कि सोलार वेंडर्स हैं उनको, सो दैट दे कैन टू फर्दर द कॉज ऑफ अडेप्टेशन ऑफ सोलर एनर्जी। एंड ये भी सिमिलर मॉडल पे काम करता है कि 100% हम फाइनेंस करते हैं विच इज़ कवर्ड बाय FD। तो इससे फ़ायदा ये होता है कि आपको कोई एडिशनल कोलैटरल की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती है, ये विद इन द प्रोजेक्ट जो है आपकी जो फाइनेंसिंग रिक्वायरमेंट है दैट गेट्स फुलफिल्ड। So, I mean, most of you might understand this, but still I will just explain कि सोलर फाइनेंसिंग जो है 2 तरीके की होती है, एक होती है कैप्टिव मॉडल और एक होती है नॉन कैप्टिव मॉडल। तो कैप्टिव मॉडल जो है वो ऐसा है कि जो भी MSME मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहा है, इट यूजेस द पावर जनरेटेड, सो वो रूफटॉप भी हो सकता है, ऑफ साइट भी हो सकता है। एंड नॉन कैप्टिव मॉडल ये है कि जैसे रेस्कोज हैं, एस्कोज हैं, वो ऑफ साइट लगाते हैं, सोलर पावर पार्क डेवलप करते हैं, सो उन एरियाज में भी वी आर फाइनेंसिंग कैप्टिव यूजर्स एज वेल एज द नॉन कैप्टिव यूजर्स। So this is another scheme of SIDBI wherein we are financing the EVs. अगर आप कोई कंपनी है आपकी, you want to put up a EV fleet आपके internal use के लिए या फिर for your external use, we can very well finance the EV fleet adoption as well. तो इसमें जो minimum loan amount है वो around 10 lakh से चालू होता है, and the maximum is around 5 CR. So it is all based on the same model, जिसमें कि हम 100% आपको फाइनेंस करते हैं और आपकी जो मार्जिन कंट्रीब्यूशन होती है, दैट मार्जिन कंट्रीब्यूशन इज kept as a collateral. So normally जो एक बैंक फाइनेंस का मॉडल है जिसमें कि हम क्या करते हैं कि एक कंट्रीब्यूशन लाते हैं, फिर प्रोजेक्ट बनता है, फिर एक एडिशनल कोलैटरल देनी पड़ती है. So that issue is not there. Now this is a subsidy scheme by the government. So this is called as MAC gift, जिसमें कि हम लोग जो भी ग्रीन इन्वेस्टमेंट है उनके ऊपर सब्सिडी को चैनलाइज करते हैं. तो इसमें क्या है कि जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था माइक्रो, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम. सो इफ़ यू आर अ मीडियम एंटिटी यू विल नॉट बी एलिजिबल अंडर दिस स्कीम. आप अगर एक माइक्रो और स्मॉल एंटिटी है तो जिसमें आपका जो सेल्स है दैट इज़ अप टू 50 CR, देन यू विल गेट क्लासिफाइड अंडर दिस स्कीम. इसमें क्या रहता है, अगर हम ब्रीफली समझें तो अगर आप कोई भी एनर्जी एफिशिएंट प्रोजेक्ट लगाते हैं, जिसका मैंने एग्जांपल दिया कि आप मशीनरी अपग्रेडेशन कर रहे हैं या फिर कोई रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी का प्रोजेक्ट लगा रहे हैं, then you can get covered under this scheme, and what will happen is you will get an interest subsidy of around 2%. So if the bank charges you the interest rate of around 9 to 9.5% or whatever it is, and so you'll have to pay the interest initially, and after a period of 1 year that 2% interest subsidy will be reimbursed to you. So this is the broad thing that I have. तो इसमें जो है जो technologies हैं इसमें मतलब वाटर मैनेजमेंट भी वी कैन कवर, ग्रीन बिल्डिंग्स ऑल्सो वी कैन कवर. ये एक गवर्नमेंट की एक और स्कीम है जिसको हम लोग MSc स्पाइस बोलते हैं, जो कि MSc स्कीम फॉर प्रमोशन एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट इन सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी है. तो सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी का मतलब एक समझे तो मोस्टली क्या होता है कि हम लोग जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंटिटीज़ हैं दे ऑपरेट ऑन अ यूज़ एंड डिस्पोज मॉडल, कि हमने रॉ मटेरियल को सोर्स किया, उसको यूज़ किया, देन वी डिस्पोज. लेकिन सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी क्या करता है कि आप उसी मटेरियल को देन व्हेन यू आर यूजिंग इट बैक, जैसे प्लास्टिक सेक्टर में हुआ कि आप उसी चीज़ को फिर से रिसाइकल करके यूज़ कर रहे हैं. तो ये गवर्नमेंट की एक स्कीम है जिसमें यू कैन अवेल सब्सिडी. तो इसमें जो सब्सिडी है वो कैपिटल सब्सिडी है. कैपिटल सब्सिडी का मतलब हुआ कि अगर आपने कोई मशीनरी लगाई है सो देन यू गेट कवर्ड अंडर दिस. इसमें जो आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्लांट एंड मशीनरी है उसका 25% आपको सब्सिडी मिलता है, एंड द मैक्सिमम सीलिंग इज़ 12.5 lakhs. तो इसमें से जो भी आपकी एलिजिबिलिटी के नॉर्म्स में से कम है दैट यू कैन अवेल. और इसमें जो एलिजिबल सेक्टर्स हैं दैट इज़ प्लास्टिक, रबर, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वेस्ट, सोलर पैनल्स, रिसाइकलिंग. सो दीज आर द ब्रॉड एरियाज. So as I said, SIDBI is a front runner in establishing itself as a green bank. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि apart from all these schemes, we also undertake the development of cluster. Cluster क्या होता है कि एक contiguous geographical area में अगर एक particular activity की जाती है, जैसे कोटा में stone industry है, मुरादाबाद में ब्रास इंडस्ट्री है, तो हम इनका ऑडिट करते हैं एंड देन वी नो वी सजेस्ट देम इंटरवेंशंस और मेजर्स कि आप क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे कि ये एनर्जी का जो ये है वो एक्सपेंडिचर है वो कम हो सकता है. तो जैसे कोल फर्नेस यहाँ पे एग्जांपल है कि कोल बेस्ड फर्नेस था, उसको हमने गैस बेस्ड फर्नेस. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स दैट SIDBI engages in apart from the typical financing activities, जिससे कि हम ये ओवरऑल गोल को अचीव करना चाहते हैं. सो SIDBI इज़ ओनली अबाउट MSME. हम लोग खाली यही करते हैं. सो वी कैन से नो वन अंडरस्टैंड्स MSMEs बिकॉज दिस इज़ द ओनली थिंग दैट वी डू. So this is the address, and any kind of financing queries we can be reached on these numbers. So that will be all from my side. Thank you for the patient hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Das. It was very insightful to hear about various initiatives and the financing schemes offered by SIDBI to support those in the renewable energy sector. As a token of gratitude, I would request Mr. Deepak Karandikar to please felicitate Dr. Nilesh and Mr. Anup. We had with us Dr. Nilesh Rohankar, Executive Engineer, MSc DCL. And Mr. Anup Das, AGM, SIDBI. May we have a group picture, please? You could occupy the space in the front. हाँ sir, चालेल actually. For the next session, may I request Dr. Dilesh and Mr. Anup to please join the audience? The next we have a panel discussion on opportunities and challenges faced by MSME in adopting solar energy. I invite on stage Mr. Avinash Gawade, Head of Design and Project Execution, Kirloskar Solar, Mr. Jay Marve, Business Development Manager, Fourth Partner Energy, and Mr. Anand Shiralkar, Head of Strategy, Newfield Energy Private Limited. This panel will be steered by Mr. Deepak Karandikar. And also we have Mr. Ram Zogdan, Chairman Ramalex on the panel. I hand over the session to Mr. Deepak Karandikar.
With your permission, I'll sit down and probably conduct this meeting. So I thought it would be a good idea to have an interactive session, question answers, so that we can actually take it to the next level where your questions get answered instead of a monologue and inputs from them. So I would like each one of them to first introduce themselves, to be able to understand which of the questions could be answered by which one of them. You could put up your questions, and we will throw it open to the panelists here to understand how they would be able to contribute to this. Yeah. So
good evening, everyone. So myself Avinash Gowde. I am from Kirloskar Solar Technologies. We are Kirloskar Group company. We are doing solar EPCs, turnkey EPC solutions to the CNI customers. We do rooftop projects. We do ground-mounted open access projects. So if any requirement, then you can reach us to Kirloskar Solar Technologies, and I will be happy to answer the questions what you are in your mind in the CNI segments. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Jay Marve. So I'm with Fourth Partner Energy, and my team generally looks for the west region for the country. So we look after Maharashtra, Gujarat, MP. We also specialize in CNI, and we also have we have open access parks, distributed rooftop. In fact, we have also come out with BESS, battery energy storage systems. So yes, we have an umbrella portfolio itself for renewable energy. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anand. I am from Newfin. At Newfin, we sort of help each and every businesses from each and sort of every size of business, MSMEs and large businesses, to transition to RE. We are sort of one-stop solution from designing your solution based on your particular requirement to sort of delivering the electrons to your facilities. Solution designing to finance, everything. So that's what we do.
good. So I have apparently 3 competitors on the dais, but it gives you an opportunity to ask best of questions. Don't make them awkward, but I think you can get answers by throwing up your queries and I'm sure they will be able to pitch in. So let's start with the first question. Yeah, please.
I think first of all, Karandika sir, a big round of applause to you from all of us for the tireless journey that you have been doing. And this, in fact, this question is not specifically to the competitors or anything. This is for the industry per se. And because we have Dr. Nilesh with us, I'm just taking liberty. एक शेंडेफळ म्हणून एक प्रश्न असा विचार करून घ्या. MSCBs or MSCDCL still consider solar or renewable project into KW. And our requirement, the load sanction, goes on kWh. Or if you look, because if I want an 100 kilowatt load, effectively I have to put 4 times or 5 times of that particular capacity. Why doesn't we take this opportunity, in fact, to push or, just have the extension, get some clarity or get some confirmation or maybe some flexibility?
I think so. Sir, please.
On this particular aspect. And I know Dr. Nilesh won't bother me asking you.
Yeah, please repeat the question.
Yeah. So the point is, if you see one of the slide which you mentioned, where you said that for captive consumer there is no load requirement. Does that mean that if I'm availing a green open access, then I'm not bound with the contract demand kind of thing? I have 100 kilowatt and I can put up an entire plant.
Yeah, it's in regulation. It's clearly mentioned that if you are availing a power under captive category, so below 100 also you can avail.
No,
below 100 kilowatt.
The question is the capacity of the solar plant.
Capacity, you all might be knowing that the Supreme Court has given a judgment that from DC overloading point of view, it's on part of a client consumer that what sort of DC overloading, depending upon the CUF capacity utilization factor, what is the need based you have, what sort of target of consumption you have with respect to your consumer and with respect to your generator. So if you want to overload your DC capacity, if you want a CUF capacity utilization factor of 19% or 20, 24, accordingly you can have, no doubt. Only the thing is that the contract demand on which the regulation has been fixed. So for AC point of view, we will restrict to our CD only.
So that's the main point. That's
Yeah.
Point.
From DC point of view, no issue in that.
But at the end of the day, it's only the contract demand which you will be referring to. Yes. Won't be it possible from the industry perspective, because I want to have KWH, I want units. Solar is giving me a plant load factor only of 20%.
No, because our billing system, as I told in my presentation, that ABT, availability based tariff, is the metering system in which the demand integration is of 15 minutes and the sliding window is of 5 minutes sub-interval period. Try to understand what I am saying.
Understood.
So now from green energy open access point of view, 12-time block period is the concept again coming in front of us. It might be 12-time block means 12 5s are 60. Try to understand what I am saying. It at present, the demand integration is of 15 minutes.
Right.
There might be a 12 minutes of also. 5 blocks in a hour.
Right.
So complex billing system is there. Everything is demand. We have to register. The gaming from generators should not be there. So very stringent clauses from grid code regulation point of view. Everything is been monitored very, very closely at head office level. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good question. So I think someone else could probably throw light on his queries. Yep. No one? So it's all sorted out for you, I believe.
Thank you again for that presentation and the insights on that. Our question is that on what Karandika just was mentioning, you have an aggregate, or rather at least you have a group of people who are willing to purchase electricity, you said. So would you be so kind to at least throw some light on what other processes that you're looking forward to, so that your group of consumers can purchase that electricity? You said you had about 5 or 6 consumers ready to buy electricity. So would you throw some light on what is it that you're further looking at? Thank you.
Yeah, so we had made a survey about 6 years ago when we thought that we would be able to put all this together even without the CERC regulation of 22. And we just made a survey at the MCCIA, asked for companies to come forward and bid on what they would want from open access without really knowing. And I was surprised that there were companies that aggregated to 105 megawatts, the total quantum that was required. So I realized that there was a huge awareness that this kind of energy would be needed by just a few. I think we were about 45 or 48 companies who ultimately asked for this. And you can imagine forging units who guzzle energy. You can imagine injection molding units that guzzle energy, right? These were the guys who wanted connection from the open access, which was not available to them. So what we thought was, let the small guys and the big ones. Our pitch at that time was that let's limit this to 50 kW. I think CERC came up with 100 kW, not a large difference, but a whole lot of people got eliminated with this 100 kW business. But I think it's a good step to begin with, realizing that if you have below 100, above 50 and above, the spread would be very large. And tackling these kind of numbers would be difficult. So for a beginning, that was very nice. If it starts rolling and this really comes in, I'm sure we will make a representation saying, let's drop it from 100 to 50. But we should be able to tackle the 100 first, which itself took so long. But I think Mr. Nilesh was very, very proactive in trying to say that this will now certainly roll out, and there are many initiatives. So how would this work? We thought of having these members from MCCI alone, not outsiders, point number one. So they should be our members. They should be like-minded. And please try to understand that we would have to form a cluster of users at the load end. And we would have to have some EPC guy who would set up a solar park. If he already has one, then we would probably tap into his available energy and try to get it back to our units. We wanted to keep it limited to one circle so that MSCDCL doesn't find it difficult. Though MSCDCL covers the entire state, yeah, but trying to make it difficult for them would add more confusion and challenges. So we wanted to keep it limited to one circle. So we kept it close to Pimpri Chinchwad Bhosri, and that's geographically where we cordoned off these guys, these 40, 48 people. Next, financing was a big issue. If you're a consumer sizable, you would probably, let's say if you require 300 kW, right? You would want 500,000 units per annum, right? That's what you consume. Let's say that's 40,000 approximately per month. For that kind of requirement, you would require a capex of 1.25 crore. Then people start going all over the place. And they say, let's collectively borrow. Right? It doesn't work. If you collectively borrow, you're collectively responsible. A particular guy doesn't pay up. He doesn't pay up his EMIs. He doesn't use. So I think in a group captive, sir, you have to use 51% of the consumption, 51%. Now, look at COVID time, right? It just went off. Nobody used. MSCDCL themselves allowed you to drop your contract demand, right, sir? So there are various issues to do it collectively. But at MCCI, we thought that let's create a platform people jump on. But believe me, the more number of participants I have in this group, right, the more number of assorted questions I get. And the assorted questions throw you out of gear. So, in this first group, we have not finalized, but we wanted people who would be like-minded, who would be ready to take up challenges, who would be ready to fight for their rights, accommodate the system, right? Contribute completely to that cost of or capex, right? So there are questions. Every entrepreneur will have one clear question. What is my exit route, right? My customers don't buy from me. I have to exit. Here I am the generator and I've stopped consuming. What happens to me? So there are multiple questions that everybody puts up, multiple. They just go on. And it is frightening to really step out and, create a platform so that small industry jumps in. But at MCCI, I thought that was one of the platforms, MCCI per se, who would be able to weather this storm and put people together, create a sample case, create a front runner group. And if this worked, believe me, people will jump on because there is nothing more to discover. People will just do it. For your information, we have been talking to Kirloskar Green. We have been talking to 3 other EPC guys. But how do the problems stem in? Okay, if they have a plant that has spare capacity, which they won't, because they build plants only when they have a commitment to pick up the energy, right? So they have to start from ground up. They have to look at where they would establish it, how they would be able to maintain it, how they would be able to ensure. Like we have extremely strict requirement that if you're taking my money and if you're making me pay for all the capex, right? You give me a performance guarantee. I'm ready to pay for the performance guarantee. But you have to give me a performance guarantee. Just in case you stop supplying, you do not look after the plant, okay, something goes wrong. I'm not responsible. My core competence is not generating electricity. My core competence is what I work in, right? It could be whichever industry or whichever vertical I'm talking about. But if you're made responsible for the generation part of it, which you have no wherewithal to settle problems, I'm not going to look at it. So what we did was, we said we are looking for a EPC guy who will set up the plant. We will pay entirely for it. He will ensure performance of that plant. He will ensure that he will give us those many units per year. Obviously, there will be a plus minus. Nothing goes on the dot, right? He will maintain the plant to sort of comply with the performance levels that we're talking about, and it rolls. Now, suppose one of the participants, there are 7 participants, and one of the participants 3 or 4 years down the line runs into deep trouble, has to close off his plant. He still remains a generator, And what their MD told me was, you will repair a generator and we'll help you find consumers for that electricity. Of course, it will not be in tune with the kind of advantage you get when you're consuming it yourself, but it's not much of a problem. And then the list goes on. Yeah. Please.
Hello everybody. So the model you explain here for the industries, and I am representing here my society who is looking for a solar initiative within the society. So the concept you explain here, group of participant. So we have that group of participant, but we are struggling with the old infrastructure of the electricity we have, and we are struggling with the finances to get. Maybe if we get, so government has the subsidiaries and all, but those are all, maybe they are considering for a small house, bungalow and all. When we say it is a society with number of, means we have high-rise society or whatever, that 7, 8 floors. After certain floors, government subsidiaries may be not effective. So thinking this group of participants, would we roll out something? Maybe my question is towards Nilesh sir, and maybe Deepak sir can also contribute into it. So thinking that in cities or even small town places, now we have common electricities element. Also, if we really want to be very much if independent, then even the individual consumer from that society also can avail his all electricity from such projects. So my question is to sir that how, when we will consider these small villages which are consuming a lot of, and can we make them independent, and I think we will walk faster to the sustainability goals we have.
Yes, ma'am, good question. First of all, I will tell you regarding your question regarding the urban areas. So, you might be knowing that under PM Suryagar, group housing societies and is the clause till 500 kilowatt you can avail a subsidy. There is a provision. So, you can take advantage of that. You can form a group for common, for lift, for fire, for water pump and everything. Along with that, if you have a group of, but the restriction is the subsidy is given only up to 500 kilowatt for social welfare and group housing. So for that you can avail. Not only this, many societies are there, they don't want to get involved in any regulations and circulars and applications. They don't want to climb the steps of government, MCCIA and everything. For them, behind the meter is the concept very well, very famous at present. We are zero export. You don't want to get involved in any activities of MCCIA and billing and everything. For that, you can go for a behind the meter. Only the thing is that in that we have made a compulsory that generation meter must be there, and that generation meter will be built for our own purpose, and for that we are claiming RPOs at the Regulatory Commission. So, ma'am, what I want to say over here, at present this power was very reliable, affordable, quality power. Now it has crossed the boundaries, this power. This power has now become not only reliable, quality, affordable, it has become now intelligent, very clean, very green. Not only this, intelligent, clean and green, now this power has become digital. You had been heard regarding the International Solar Alliance that the blockchain is going to get involved in such sector. And now all you people know that RBI has launched e-currency. There is no restriction how this power from here can cross across the states, across the countries, across the continent, across the oceans, what I want to say. And it's a very soon, and at World Bank level, at international levels, at PAN level, the concept of one sun, one earth, one grid is going to happen very soon. With respect to that, MNRE has forwarded a model solar village circular, what I have projected in my presentation. Each and every village will be motivated to come forward to get participated in PM Surya Ghar Yojana, in drinking water schemes, in off-grid schemes. Not only all the government buildings will be converted into rooftop solars, and facility will be available, CFA, Central Financial Assistance will be available. Not only that, decentralized distribution generation projects like Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana. Level best we are trying to get promotions of these rural parts, how it can be get converted and how this rural power will be digital. It's a very soon this scenario will come, and hope so in 2025-27 India will be on the top with respect to not only solar targets but with respect to economy also. Thank you.
I'll extend to what she said, I think, if I understood clearly. Suppose there are 100 apartments or dwellings in a particular society, right? Each one has his own meter with MECDCL. Yeah. Suppose the society gets 1 meter, yeah, and has sub-meters for all 100 dwellings.
Yes.
And then is capable of meeting the requirements of 100 megawatts. If they can draw energy from the solar parks for 1 meter.
If you have taken, can share my presentation. In that presentation, minimum 10 megawatt of project DPR can be done at a village level. But from city or metropolitan point of view, we have a multi-party agreement circular put forwarded in front of all of you, specifically MSMEs, commercials and under multi-party agreement. The lead consumer, the principal consumer will have all the responsibility of whatever agreement will be there. And if the structuring is been made accordingly, and if you don't want to get involved in any CFA and any scheme, you want to have a net metering and everything, yeah, the day is very soon. We are working very hard on group net metering, on virtual metering, peer-to-peer metering also. So very soon only you will get, only the thing is that now we have to see that who will be the energy minister and how this ministry is going to, there might be a breaking news, I don't know, tomorrow. So these things will come very immediately.
Ma'am, is your question answered?
Maybe today applicable to the rural area, the similar thing to get for the cities and societies. Maybe we have to wait some time?
Yep.
Yeah, very soon only regulation is there. Only the thing is that as we have put forward the Green Energy Open Access Commercial Circular, very soon only in the net metering for 5 megawatt, group net metering and peer-to-peer, due to only complex billing system, the work has been going on at head office level, and very soon, within a span of 1 to 2 months, everything will be very simplified.
So,
thank you. Myself, Dr. Sunil Kulkarni. The question is, do you have some cases done? Okay, without giving names of the societies or etc., can you give us that kind of a report or a case study which will guide us that, okay, these were, say, 5 societies came together and they did something, then their requirement was so much, and the capital cost was so much, operating cost was so much. Is there any single report available of such kind of a case study? Then it will be easier for us to understand. Right now, what you are saying, net metering, this, that, etc., is not understood by everyone.
Sir, last 2 years before, we were having a very good sessions on YouTube. You can avail such sort of knowledge from our YouTube sessions. Solar is my passion. A session of 1 hour, 2 hours are there regarding group housing, how it can be clubbed, regarding behind the meter, regarding the green energy open access. We have kept very open everything. With respect to green energy open access, a good example of PCMC, we can have, I am having at present with me the demand sanction and also the electricity bill. A very good example in front of you, how they are going to cater the financial viability and also the technical feasibility. Not only the Manipan Hospital, the Chintamani hotels from Lonavala, these are the very good examples in front of all of us. Only the thing is that they have just availed such sort of green energy open access facilities. And in the coming next from month, 1st of Jan or 2nd, the billing system will be very simplified. You will get to know how it will work, whether the 100, 200, 500 kilowatt will work or not from financial viability point of view. But what I think, with respect to the project IRR and the equity IRR, with respect to the payback and break even, minimum 500 kilowatt of load for industrial might be a very good win-win situation. If a consumer entity is there, then you can go for 200, 300. It will be a very good deal. The project IRR, what we have calculated, it's not our duty from DISCOM point of view to have such sort of talks over here and have promotions of open access. But being a curiosity.
No, but we are one family, so let's be open and try to find out exactly what my consumer would like to.
If you are going for a captive, the energy what you will be availing from your own project, and I don't think it might be more than 2 rupees, 2 rupees 5, if you are going for a captive, straight way. But there are the professionals over here from generator and project point of view, and one of my friend Ronak Muthian from Kalpa Power and Ankurji is also there. They can explain more how the project can be financial viable over here.
Yeah. Basically, sir, we are also in touch with one of the society who is trying to get open access power. So with societies, there are there are two types of loads. One is the common load, which is sort of commercial connection, and other is residential connection. So for commercial connection, we are trying to solve it. Right now we don't have case study because we are not yet there yet. But we'll get there. But the fundamental challenge which we are trying to solve here is now in green energy open access, you sort of at least save something or earn something basis the whole structure of group captive open access. Now the society's own bylaws don't allow them to sort of earn anything or make profit out of anything what the business they are doing, right? So that is one such thing we are stuck at right now while solving for this sort of society. So that is just one of the many problems that we are going to solve and will be there.
Sir, but there is not a single case where this has been worked out.
What the gentleman from Newfin mentioned, so the concern is if you're registered under Societies Act, you're not able to share, you're not able to subscribe to shares. And for a group captive arrangement, for any sort of captive arrangement, you need to form a special entity. So this is as per Energy Act of 2003, where any consumer who wants to sign up for group captive needs to subscribe for shares. So what Mr. Karandikar was just saying, that when multiple entities come together, there is a concern on sharing of equity. And as a society, you cannot hold equity because that is a profit-making entity under private limited norms. But a lot of societies have done ways out of this. So what they have done is they have privatized their own infrastructure into a company. That company's revenue can be decided by the society. So Dr. Rohankar mentioned about Manipal. So Manipal is an excellent example. So Manipal is actually a society providing hospitals and education, but all their infrastructure and facilities are privatized. So what they have done is through a private limited entity subscribed into owning and operating power plants, which will then benefit the society. So Hiranandani has done this for Fortune City, Panvel. For Palava City, I am not sure where the exact location is, but somewhere exactly near Dombivli. There are many examples as such, sir. So we can speak at length if you want. Sure. But the idea is more to do with the structures that all these are. So very honestly, since the advent of power, we have not had this quicker revolution in all aspects of life. So it's just taking time for them to catch on. So,
sir, it's let me add to this. There is always a problem with society members. each one thinks that the other is going to pay. I am not going to be required to pay. That's one of the things. There are regulatory issues that have also to be tackled, but there are mindset issues that have also to be understood, where each one of them benefits. But what happens is they never come together. You know, simple things like cleaning contributions are not paid. So where is this question of, you know, doing it collectively? But the mindsets will change because I believe Lodha is doing something.
Townships, they have a franchise model. So again, these are a lot of complexities we're discussing too quickly. So Lodha, Melmondo, Life Republic are franchisee owners.
Correct.
So they themselves have a billing and regulatory department by themselves. And what they have done is they have then gone ahead and put up open access power. These societies or townships are much larger, having 1,000+ apartments together and being much more adept to forming these behaviors. So just as an example, Eon IT Park is actually, and again a similar example. So Eon IT Park has a facility company which is privatized, which then buys power and supplies it to its tenants as a commercial activity through a franchisee model. So I think we're talking about energy laws here in quite a bit of detail. Sure, happy to.
So industry also, it's a group of people, you know, they can never get together. And it is said that businessmen can never form an association because it's a conflict of interest. But essentially in such cases, old societies take a very long time to understand and, you know, implement. Sure. While if a new society is coming up, sure, and the builder takes the initiative, it works because it is a long-term arrangement.
Agreed. Yeah. So that's the reason. PMC since 2016 has mandated all buildings OC required a mandatory rooftop solar. So it's starting. No. So that's a concept. That's a commercial interest question of the builder. There are builders who are actually doing this well, but yes, it's a commercial question for the builder. But we'll restrict it to industries as Sudarnath mentioned. But yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions on industry? Yeah, please.
700 kilowatt, and all of them are actively interested in green open access. Now here are two queries. One is with around 25 lakhs of capex involved in metering at the solar farm level and the end customer level, and it becomes less commercially viable to install a green open access scheme at such premises because there is APT meter and all hardware to be installed at the client location. Plus, there has to be client-wise billing going at the solar farm end. So that involves a capex of around 25 lakhs in terms of metering hardware. So how to make this commercially viable? That is question one. Question two is MSCDCL planning on a single window or single office facility for green open access projects? Because treating a 3 kilowatt residential application with a 300 kilowatt green open access application doesn't make any sense. Same staff running around and doing the paperwork and all these things. So is any such plan on MSCDCL agenda?
I think answering your first question, it's fait accompli. This amount, 25 lakhs, is certainly going to come down at a later date. Today, because there is nothing happening like this, right? I have got quotes which says that if you are a small 2 megawatt plant, the infrastructure is going to cost much more. As you said, metering at both ends. And, so I leave this question to any one of the EPC guys. Sir?
So definitely the cost, what you are saying at generated end and at the receiving end, the same metering is required. And the same, basically the metering guidelines is given by the DISCOM, MCCIA, that has to be fulfilled by the generator end. The cost, what you are saying, that is more, but it's basically the turnkey EPC cost we are bearing when we are developing a solar park for you, for the 4 consumers or 10 consumers or whatever is the consumers. So we'll be setting one park, say 2 megawatt park. Then there is a common means whatever as per the requirement of your consumer end, that percentage sharing will be divided into the each individuals, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. So it will be distributed in the percentage wise. So there will be the one metering at generator end, and there will be the separate metering at your consumer end. So the cost is a common distribution factor that can be accommodated in the total turnkey EPC cost. That is how is happening. And sir, that is regarding that, sir is saying that one window that is already there. So it is there in the presentation. So you can make your application, and whatever is the procedure, you have to follow that.
Thank you.
I'll give you another clue for one window. Join MCCI, we'll get a super window.
We are already there.
Yeah, just to add on to what Avinash sir said. So we are actually in process of filing green energy open access approvals for one of our clients. So the client is basically they have about 14-15 sites across Mumbai location, and again they are of same entity. The group company is the same, and we have to, the collective consumption is about 6 megawatt peak. So yeah, so we are in the process of doing SEM meterings and everything. So actually, I would like to ask Nilesh sir if is it possible for having a net metering done on the LT level itself and not on the HT level, so that we can save on the cost of ABT meter itself.
You might be knowing that Pune is the only zone, city, where for LTMD also we have developed a software in all the Chaktan and Rajguru Nagar division. All LTMD consumers have a facility of ABT, 15 minutes time slot period. Special software has been developed over here, and in the regulation it has been said that for LTMD consumer specifically, there is no need of ABT. You can avail a regular TOD, and accordingly the software upgradations will be there, and that TOD will be converted into ABT, availability based tariff. And in that case, your financial viability may prove there is no need of purchasing an ABT and everything. Such things are being mentioned in regulation itself.
So last question.
Thank you again for giving me the second opportunity, second question to ask. Now my question is to perhaps Jay Marve. I understand your company supplies electricity. You sell electricity, correct?
Sorry.
You sell electricity.
Yeah.
Yes. So my understanding is, as a solar developer, when you sell electricity to consumers, you largely only charge them for the energy component in it. I was wondering, do you also have you also accounted for the carbon component of the solar electricity? And if so, you don't necessarily charge the consumers for that. Why don't you charge them? And if you want to charge them, how much would you like to charge them then?
So carbon component charge, as in, are you asking about the RECs?
The RECs or the carbon credits.
Right.
See, my understanding is that solar developers have it very tough. And you guys are selling electricity, but not getting paid for the carbon component of that electricity.
Right.
My view would be to say that you have to add a carbon component, however cheap it might be. You might give it a discount, but the carbon component, you're not getting paid for it. So yeah.
So as you rightly said that we sell electricity, and of course the tariff, the calculation of the tariff, it contains all the project cost and financing and everything, the interest and all. One component is also off about the carbon credit as well. So in case the consumer is availing for carbon credits, then of course we add on to the tariff itself.
You've given him a great idea. He's going to work on it, don't worry.
I hope so too.
Yeah, if I may add, basically, apart from the financial or the commercial benefits of switching to RE, most of the organizations are doing this for the greening their supply chain, or basically, getting net zero, right? So if sort of developer is also sort of accounting for that carbon credits or the green component of that electricity, and the consumer itself is obviously doing this and showing in their sustainability reports that we are sort of getting green energy, then that is sort of a double counting which should not be there, and the carbon market or carbon business or the whole carbon world regulation sort of try to avoid this. So basically there are options, but then we should be very cautious about what we are signing up for. Yes. So yeah, so basically there are examples in the market where the large data centers or large IT companies, they went only for buying carbon component or the green attribute of the power, and the developer is selling green power, or sorry, the brown power in the market itself. So there, this is the clear demarcation between both the sort of attributes like power and the green component. But usually what general trend in the market is that the organization which want to buy green energy want to buy it in a full sense, where they are also, along with the commercial benefit, they are also sort of decarbonizing their value chain.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are running out of time, so one last concluding question. Ram, you and Sudhanva, how do we take the MCCIA cluster to MSCDCL?
I have one question to the MSCDCL. Can MSCDCL provide the data of the substation data basically all over? What are the intake capacity for individual substation wise, so that the consumer should know that this area, this substation is availing that much of power. So it is easy for us to identify the lands and the connectivity on particular area, because this data has to be updated regularly, and it means the MSCDCL has not updated this data since last 1-2 years back. So it's updated monthly, but it's not coming to the what level we require. Actual data means connectivity is given or not given.
As you all know that from you are saying regarding grid connectivity availability point of view, there are two parts, from Transco point of view and from Discom point of view. Everything has been available on the sites. If you go on a MEDA site, on a Discom or a Transco, from Discom point of view, when you go on a www.mahadiscom.in, there are certain windows in below. If you click on a Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana window, you will get a land bank portal available over there. In each district, in each tehsil, what are the government lands available, parcels, you will get over there. What is the distance in kilometer, whether the NOC has been given through collector offices or not. For government lands. For private lands also, most of the farmers have come forwarded to give their land on lease. The rate is 50,000 rupees per acre per year. 3% is the rise in that. So these are the things being put forwarded by the government of Maharashtra, and a lot of farmers are taking advantage of it. And this is the only thing how we are going to achieve the success of 16,000 megawatts of throughout the agriculture road on solar. Everything is available. If you want, we can get personally connected, and I have shared my contact person only also.
So can to take this forward, to take this initiative forward, for my 5 megawatts for MCCI industry, with one of the EPC members who would show interest, can we have an accelerate? I'll put the money on the table in 15 days. I'll put the money on the table in 15 days. Abhi aap bolo kitne din mein? Sir, you're keeping quiet. You asked a question.
No, I'm asking Dr. Rohan first.
No. It takes time to put the money on the table. No, no, it is not. Ask any one of these people how many will raise their hand. Sir, the problem is he just answered one very good question. I have to buy land. I buy land. Time is over. So I buy land and then I cannot evacuate the energy that I. So it's an interlocked question. Such questions have to be answered simultaneously for things to work out. Right? So, sir, if we can have.
I will like to, with government and private lands point of view, I will like to say over here that there is a live tender for Kusum C under components Kusum C. Kusum C and Mukhyamantri Saur Krishi Vahini Yojana has been tagged. And if you want to get involved in the small projects of 3 megawatt size, 5 megawatt at 33 by 11 kV level, the tender is live at present, in which you will have a 1 CR per megawatt of subsidy, and the projects will be erected, commissioned on the government lands. And for that minimum, if you are coming together, 2, 3, 4 of them, and minimum 50 megawatt size is been bidded. There are only no technical criteria there for that. For a Kusum C component, tender is live. Only the financial criteria is that for 50 megawatt, 50 CR must be the net worth. Nothing, anything else. Khatam.
Avinash Sahib, Jai Sahib, Anand Sahib, any one of you here, have you heard it loud and clear? When we come to you, you say there are too many problems. Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
So can we sit together and solve this problem?
Yeah, definitely. And how such small projects can be
What date is convenient, sir?
Good.
Sir, what date is convenient to you? So can you give me a date?
Today also we can sit in the evening.
That's positive. So can we
24/7 I have shared my mobile number.
Can we target probably Wednesday next so that it gives enough time?
No issue,
right? Issue. Wednesday at.
You have to hurry up because the 16,000 megawatt component. Once it's 16,000 crosses, till now we have come near about to 12, 13 megawatts, 13,000. And hardly 1,000 to 1,000.
So let's target a 5 megawatt for MCCIA.
And no, not a 5 megawatt. Minimum project size is of 50 megawatts.
50.
There was a 1-2 megawatt of scheme available for 3 districts only.
Okay.
Bid, Latur and Usmanabad.
But generation there and consumption here?
No, PP of 25 years at a rate of, selling tariff of rate of 3 rupees 5 paisa to 3 rupees 10 paisa. Okay. Reverse bidding is also possible if 2 bidders are coming on the same location and everything. So at present the tender is live. If anybody wants to take the advantage of for the coming 25 years, and we have calculated each and every micro level analysis has been done, how this project will be financial viable, how the carbon credits can be get benefited, how the accelerated depreciation from income tax point of view, n numbers of things are been involved.
So
and what we have calculated that the project IRR for a particular tariff at 3 rupees 5 paisa comes near about to 13 to 14%. The equity IRR goes beyond 18 to 20%. It's a very good deal if you are having a foreign investors with a good rate of interest. And also not only this, there is a provision of subvention in the rate of interest for a particular scheme. Kusum, 3% of subvention is available, and the flat rate of interest of near about 6% get landed for each and every one over here.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Wednesday at 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Please. Any EPC member wanting to pitch in, I would like all 3 of you to please come. Help me. Great. That helps all of us. On behalf of all participants, MCCIA, EPC members, on behalf of Ram, let's thank Dr. Nilesh. I'd like Ram to conclude. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.